Let's listen in now to the Labour leader, Ed Miliband, who's speaking at the Scottish Labour Party conference in Edinburgh.
We will not tolerate a country with Victorian working conditions in the 21st century. So we'll ban the exploitation of 0 hours contracts with a new principle that if you do regular hours, you should get a regular contract. We will not tolerate a country where the vested interests, the energy companies, rip people off. So we will freeze energy bills so they can only fall and cannot rise. And we will not tolerate a country where banks do not serve our businesses, but simply serve themselves. So we will reform our banks to ensure they work for the people and businesses of our country. We will not tolerate a country where young people spend their life on the dole. So we will tax the bank bonuses to put young people back to work right across the United Kingdom. We will not tolerate a country where there is no dignity for the old. That's why we'll raise the basic state pension. And we will do something a Tory government will never do. We'll stand up to the energy companies and the pension fund companies that rip off elderly people. And as we seek to change this country, we do so as a changed Labour Party. A changed Labour Party that believes in its soul that inequality matters and that responsibility in our society goes right to the top. You know, people across our country think the economy is rigged against them. And you know what? They're right. Let me tell you how we're going to change it. Let me tell you what a fair, progressive tax system looks like, not an unfair, regressive one. A new starting 10p rate of income tax to help 2.4 million lower and middle income working people across Scotland. Reversing David Cameron's £43,000 tax cut for every millionaire in Britain and restoring the 50p tax rate because those with the broadest shoulders should bear the greatest burden. A new mansion tax on properties worth more than £2 million to fund more doctors, more nurses, more care workers in every part of the United Kingdom, including 1,000 new nurses here in Scotland when Jim Murphy becomes First Minister of Scotland. And above all, you know, something that people are crying out for, a tax system where people pay their dues. So the next Labour government will call time on the tax avoiders, the tax evaders, the hedge funds, the Tory party donors who believe there is one law for the rich and powerful and another law for everybody else. Because in the Britain we believe in, it is one rule for all. No sweetheart deals from the revenue. No turning a blind eye from the taxman. No tolerance of the tax havens. For all of the working people, for all of the businesses, large and small, who pay their taxes, do the right thing, let the message go out. The next Labour government will call time on tax avoidance and tax evasion. You know, the beating heart of this party is where Scottish working families are. For equality, social justice and fairness. Simple Labour values. Hard work rewarded. Security, not insecurity at work. Standing up to the powerful interests. A fair tax system. A plan for working families. And a plan for home rule for Scotland as well. Income tax set in Scotland. New powers over job creation. Benefit levels that can be set here in Scotland. Friends, we wrote the vow. We made the vow. And with a bill put before Parliament in the first 100 days of a Labour government, we will deliver the vow. And we will deliver more, a new constitutional convention with the people of Scotland at the heart of its mission. The mission is this: to change the way we are governed. You know, there's so much change we need. It's time to do what should have been done a long time ago and bring democratic voice across our Parliament, abolishing the House of Lords and replacing it with a Senate of nations and regions. It's a new settlement. It's a new settlement. It's a new settlement for the way we are governed, for Scotland, Wales, England, the whole of our United Kingdom. A plan for working families across Scotland. A plan to change who our country works for and how it's run. Economic justice, social justice, and democratic change. A plan that we start to implement in just 61 days' time. And this plan, it's the only plan that can put Tory misrule behind us. Let me tell you today why we have to get rid of these Tories. They're a party that defends a country with bank bonuses unchecked and food banks on the rise. They're a party that refuses a mansion tax and imposes the cruel, the unfair, the unjust bedroom tax, a tax we will abolish across the whole of the United Kingdom. They're a party that assaults the tax credits of working families and lets the tax avoiders off the hook. They're a party that cuts funds for the most vulnerable and stands up for the hedge funds. Whenever there is a choice to be made, they make the wrong choice, the unfair choice, the choice for the few. Think of what's happened to working families since they came to power. Wages down by £1,600, 0 hours contracts exploding, insecurity at work, opportunities denied to the young, promises broken. It's a record they can't defend. And this week, we learned it's a record they're not prepared to debate.
The Labour leader, Ed Miliband, addressing the Labour Party conference in Scotland, and he has formally accepted the broadcaster's plans. 3 televised debates, 2 16 and 30th of April.
This is what he used to say about TV election debates. He used to say they were essential to our democracy. He said that every country apart from Mongolia had TV debates. He said he wasn't going to allow any, and I quote, feeble excuses to get out of the television debates. And now he's doing everything he can to stop them. And you know, it's on the issue of leadership that David Cameron's duplicity has finally caught up with him.